I've played with lots of players, usually new players, who seem less than confident entering the red portals deeper into the Crypt's Inferno. I plan on releasing a video for the Ice Abyss as well, but today we will be demystifying the hellscape beneath the crypts. I have visited the Red Place many times, and as many different classes, and I gotta say, having plate mail is my favorite way to do it. Warlocks, fighters, and clerics are all going to have an easier time here, but that isn't to say you can't venture down there as other classes. Before we go over hell and its challenges, we should explain the unique value and profit available when going to hell. Firstly, Ruby Silver and Lifeleaf only appear in hell, both of which are extraordinarily valuable items. In the olden days, Ruby Silver and Cobalt were available on the surface level of the crypts. Nowadays, you will find greater volumes of the Ruby Silver in High Roller Hell, but even in normals you will extract with at least a stack, should you come across any at all, in hell. A stack of Ruby Silver is worth hundreds of gold pieces, and the same is true for Lifeleaf. I doubt I know where every spawn of Lifeleaf or Ruby Silver is within the hell map, but today I'll show you some of what I know. This is definitely my favorite spawn and my favorite configuration of the hell map. Spawning here gives me the freedom to go west or to go north if I want to get the Ruby Silver ore. Just one time I managed to get the ore from both places quickly and extract. For now, we'll focus on showing you some of the Lifeleaf spawns and how to deal with the monsters that are in your way if you choose to go west. By pulling back onto the platforms that I just crossed, I force the skeleton archer to come closer to me, allowing me to close to melee without aggroing his companion. Ow. Blood pit. Who doesn't love a good blood pit? Oh, chest. There's the chest. This room is pretty annoying to clear, especially as a fighter, but it is very non-lethal if you clear it methodically. First off, there are 3 spider pots and roughly as many poisonous dragonflies. If you simply accept the incoming damage and focus on the dragonflies and the spider pots, you'll get through it. If you find it empty of spiders and the chests opened, know that the players which spawned there had to go north, towards you, or into the boss room. There are no other choices, and the room to the north will often leave them fatigued and below max health. If players do head east towards you, running back to where you spawned and starting again in a northward direction is a good option. We'll go more to that in just a moment. Thought that would work better. As you can see, I've turned around and gone back to where I spawned, and I have avoided clearing the corner module we actually spawned in, opting instead for the connective tissue which will get me to the module north of it. The next part is the most dangerous. Even in normals, one of the 3 skull bats has a decent chance of being a nightmare bat, and those ones will jump twice in rapid succession. The constant motion of the 3 mobs around you can make it difficult to get back out of the hell juice that your ankles end up drenched in when you inevitably fall. It's a well-designed obstacle, but preemptive ranged attacks, or a cleric with holy purification, can resolve it without even slowing down, the way I did. I've died to the nightmare bats more than once here, so don't feel bad if it happens to you. Just try to keep a heads up for it. Pretty sure this just leads to the table. Doesn't go any further. Oh, no, it does. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my god, there's so much of it growing up here. I don't think I've ever been up here. That is an ore room. But do I have the time? I'm not even sure I understand the path to get there. I should just leave. I ran out of time for further looting and mining, and it is worth noting that life leaf spawns in clusters of 2 or maybe 4. With the clusters of 4, I've noticed that you tend to get a random amount between 1 and 4. You're not always as lucky as I just was. Jumping on the tentacles will prevent you from having to clear a great number of mobs, some of which can be nightmare zombies, which create multiple clouds of extremely damaging and long-lasting gas, which will at the very least slow you down considerably, if nothing else. This next spawn is great, but deceptive. If you don't immediately turn right out of this doorway and clear the spider pot down the hallway, you'll either get lucky and not die, or get unlucky and die horribly. Oh, that's really bad. No, I can't do this with the spiders. The spiders are gonna kill me. This isn't fair. In case nobody told you yet, the Nightmare Axe Skelly involves exactly what you just saw. He mixes up the 2 attacks that the other variants employ. First he does the overhead very quickly, and it's much more damaging than his lesser brethren's attacks. And then he immediately goes into the sideways chop, again much more quickly and more damaging than the normal version. Without plate mail, this attack can 2-hit a lot of people, especially if the first one hits you in the head. But thanks to my plate armor and trusty lantern shield, I'm just barely able to survive. What the fuck? God damn it. No, what? No! No! No, 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 no! No! What? Ah! That's just silly. There he is. Oh, no, he's going back down. In High Roller, the positioning of these skeletons is a tad different to prevent players from doing exactly what I'm doing now, taking very much care to aggro monsters one at a time. Yep. Oh, that's an axe. If you get the chance, always give yourself a way out. Whether that means destroying a door, keeping a door open, keeping a door closed, or getting a blue portal ready for yourself. Always have a plan for retreat. As for player encounters in Hell, my advice remains the same. Always be ready. There is going to be no mercy for you, sir. No mercy. we're going to explore another one of my preferred spawns on that same map variation as the last recording you just saw. Last time we spawned on the western portion, in a module known as the Ritual Rooms. We failed the arachnology check, but made it to the ore room north of there successfully. Now we've spawned east of that ore, near the northeast corner of the map. I like this spawn. Gives me a good opportunity to grab more life leaf and trinkets from the passage inside this module called Death Altar, which sounds intimidating, but don't worry, the north side is extraordinarily safe. You just have to fight a few mummies and dragonflies, and then you're back in blood platforms, ready to mine the ruby silver ore. I slowed down here because the module with the ore ahead of us is pretty popular, and there's actually a player spawn directly through this next door. Well, you just watched me clear this room so we can skip some of this, but what I'd like to show you is the Berserker. He has basically only one attack, but it has a couple quirks. One is that he can do it from both sides, and another is that he can sort of do it unendingly. He has no compulsion by the code to stop. Which means that because he moves forward with each swing, he can push you into a corner. As a result, I suggest fighting him with a shield, because this lets you alternate positions around him. You're not forced to move left to right each time to dodge each individual attack. You can sometimes choose to block. Oh, wow. God, I love having willpower. Bit my arm. The other ruby silver module I quite enjoy is called the Blood River. Way better than a blood pit. The Blood River occurs in 2 of the 3 configurations for Hell, as does the Blood Platforms module, but they appear in different corners than they usually do. You will note that the spider lair is unique. It appears in only 1 of the 3 versions. The rule of thumb seems to be that ruby silver appears in opposing corners of the map, and I have seen others mine the ore in the Demon Den. However, I dislike the module due to the time it takes me to clear it. It has a berserker, a centaur, and worst of all, skeleton archers. The layout makes it easier for beginners to over-aggro if they're unfamiliar with the berserker and the centaur's patrol routes. And as a solo spawning in the waiting room module north of the demon den, I generally prefer to push through the demon lairs and death altar modules to get to the blood platforms. This does require that you fight some centaurs and demon bats, so we'll discuss those creatures now. The centaur has got a much wider variety of attacks than the berserker, but they all suffer a common problem. They don't do a good job of striking the area directly in front of the centaur. If you crouch there, all his attacks are very easily dodged or blocked. If you, on the other hand, run away, he will perform a powerful, difficult-to-dodge charging attack, and he is faster than you. The key is not just to stand your ground, but actively to get in his face. Hopefully, they give him a kicking animation with his hooves or something, and he'll become harder to fight later. Poor guy feels downright weak once you learn the trick. Next is the demon bat. These suckers apply knockback, similar to the harpies, and you deal with them the same way you deal with the harpies. First part is level ground. Because I use a shield to deal with these guys, dodging them requires too much room, and they are almost always in modules with some level of dangerous verticality, be that spike traps, monsters, the ice abyss deleting you with its darkness. Once you have level ground, you can block consistently, and the demon bats and harpies both attack with animations that start kind of low but quickly raise in its height. Most of the time you'll want to back up, crouch, and aim high with whatever shield you've got. Then, when it's stunned, you retaliate one time and reset to blocking. If you have a shield with full blocking power, you may have trouble with the nightmare variants of these creatures, as they will attack a second time if not properly staggered by a buckler. The lantern shield can riposte a single time and be ready to block again before the second attack animation, so I have no trouble there, but here I'm using the bard's buckler to show you that you can do it that way as well, and it's not hard once you learn where to block the strike. You can see me fail to block a few times here, but the important thing when this happens to you is to not panic. Adjust your block a little bit, usually upwards. The life leaf grows well on the banks of the Blood River. I want to thank anybody who bothered to stick around through the whole video. I'm really happy to see so many new players coming to the game, and I hope I can ease their bumpy road just a little bit. I'll show you the last few spawns of life leaf here in the Blood River. Thanks again for watching.